This kid's fire.
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother? What's that? What's that, brother? Brother, what's that, brother? What's that? What's that, brother? Brother, brother, what's that? What's that, brother? What's that? What's that, brother? Brother, what's that, brother? What's that? What's that, brother? Brother,
Yes, people, welcome back to another stream. Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Smash these likes out. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel as well if you're new. Big up move in 20 minutes out. Like, yeah, no worries, man. Take your time and no rush. Don't crash the car, man. That's the last thing that we need. Yeah, is move crashing his car to try and get on the show. Yeah, don't do it,
Crazy
man.
drivers there.
Yeah, just relax, Bray. Just relax. But yeah, hopefully you guys are all well. Smash these likes up. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel as well if you're new. New show going to be starting, guys. I wanted to do some later shows and I thought, get some Americans on because for them, it's not normal time, innit? It's 11 o'clock here now. But for you guys, it's decent time, innit? So every Wednesday, we'll get these guys on if they're available. If not, then we'll just postpone it. We're going to get Move on. And I'm going to ask Ed Mancunian's therapy. I've messaged him. So hopefully you can get on. And a guy called Tristan as well. So we'll see what you guys are saying. Joey was in Canada. Not allowed then, innit? Not allowed if he was in Canada. Now, smash these likes up. Big up to Tariq, Danny and Kelly as well for coming on. We're going to be speaking about the rebuild, guys, because it's the only fun thing to speak about when it comes to Manchester City at the moment, transfers and spending money. And yeah, it's been some transfer speculation has been going on in the last couple of days. Florian Wirtz, I don't know if you guys seen the news on that. Bernardo Silva, some news on that as well. And a little bit of news on Xavi Simons, but I'm not 100% sure how legit that is. But what I want to start off with is the unks, as people call them. With Bernardo Silva, Kovacic, and Gundogan. Who do we keep? Do we keep any of them? Do we keep all of them? Which ones do we pick? Kelly, I'll start with you. You responded to the tweet today. You wouldn't keep any of them. Would you honestly not keep any of them, even for experience? Because this is the thing that people always say to me. You've got to keep one of them for the experience. What are you saying?
No, I'm getting rid of all of them. I know it's going to be tough with Gundo just renewing his contract, but I'm getting rid of him. Although I will say, out of all of them, he's shown the most this year. But no, Bernardo has shown nothing for basically 2 straight seasons. High wages. He needs to go. And also, Pep just cannot quit him. It doesn't matter how poorly he performs. He's always playing. And Kovacic just looks like a chicken with his head cut off a lot of the time. And yeah, I'm not really moved by Nunes either. I know I threw him in there, even though he's not part of the uncles, but I'm getting rid of him too. But I don't think we need any of them. I think we need to start opening minutes up for other players, like minutes for Oscar Bob, minutes for, I mean, I know he's leaving, but James McAtee, like I would have rather him seen some minutes this season. I want Nico to be playing every single game. I don't want him to keep getting benched for Bernardo and Kovacic or Gundogan, like, because that midfield, it's old and slow. So I would just get rid of all of them, but I clearly don't have an opinion, or I don't have any sway. But also, this talk about experience too. Like, when are we going to start realizing that we have other players on the team who are experienced, and they might be young, but they have a lot of experience? Mm-hmm. Like Phil Foden's been on this team for what, 7-8 years? Why is he not considered experienced? He carried us to a Champions League final by dunking on PSG and Dortmund. Like, why is he not considered experienced? Holland captures his country. He's 24. He just signed a 10-year deal. He's experienced. Joško Vardiol got 3rd place at a World Cup at age 20. Why is he not considered experienced? Like, we have younger players who have a lot of experience, so I'm not buying it for these old guys. They can all just go.
That's what I always say. I always say the same thing. I always say people like, yeah, there's difference between experience and like just being an older player. Like if you talk about older player, then fair enough. But like you say, I always go through the same thing with these. When people say, "Oh, you've not got enough experience," you've not got enough experience. Say, you've got loads of experience in there. Loads of experience, man. I just think for me, this whole experience thing is not legit in my honest opinion. And for me, yeah, only keep experience if the experience is good enough. If the experience ain't good enough to play or good enough to start, then why are we keeping them just because they're old? Just because they've got experience?
So
What's all that about?
So there's, you've played the game for many years. There's experience that way. Someone that's been in the, played 10, 11 seasons or whatever. But then there's experience, more specialized experience playing in a Pep team, right? And we know what Pep does, wants and demands from his players is often different than what other managers would want. So just because you've played somewhere doesn't necessarily mean that you know how to play for Pep. And so I think with the midfield being so vital for us, I do think there is room for one of them to stay and provide. I should take that back because we still have Rodri, who's been there for many years. So it's not like we're losing all the experience there, but I would keep one. I would let Bernardo go. I think there's a Disney movie story ready to be written with him going back to Benfica.
Disney movie? You mean Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs?
Oh.
Ah,
Maybe not talk about that movie right now. Eesh.
Oh, yeah. Fair enough.
Oh, is this the one that's bombed?
yeah, that's what he's talking about. Yeah. So I mean, for me, I would keep. I actually would keep Kovacic, to be honest. Well, Gundo, he's already kind of locked up. So
Why do I get cooked for this then on Twitter today?
Kovacic?
Don't say that, you'll get cooked. I
No,
said
no,
the
no.
same thing.
No. Wait till it gets to me. I'd keep Kovacic. He's the only one out of the three that offers anything. Who's your progressive?
Well, just to clarify, Danny, I wouldn't keep any of them if it was me. Yeah, I'd move them all
ideally,
on.
yeah.
But if I had to keep one, right, and I know you might not be able to get rid of him on in an ideal situation, I'd keep Kovacic. He can run quicker than the rest of them. He actually scores goals, which is kind of fucking scary in itself. Yeah. Whereas like Gundogan's 35 next year, he can't play 2 games a week, and Bernardo for me is just not offering anything. If there was one player I could keep out of them all, I would keep Kovacic. I put that on Twitter today. Got absolutely rinsed.
Yeah. I don't know.
He was so bad in the United game. I can't forgive him for that. He was so bad.
I mean, they were all bad in that game, to be honest with you.
Why are they all
I mean,
bad?
and to be fair, I think we're all saying we would probably get rid of all of them if that was an option. But I think there is room for keeping one. So yeah.
I'm also getting rid of Akanji, even though he's not a midfielder.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Whoa.
No. What? Why? You got to explain that. Why would you get rid of Akanji?
Because he's taking up minutes that Husanov should be playing, or Victor Hayes. Why do we buy these guys? Or Juma Ba. Juma Ba's killing it in France.
Juma Ba's not gonna. Well, it maybe whatever.
You can get money for Akanji. This is a PSR world we live in. You can probably get 20 million for him, 5 million profit, because we bought him for nothing.
Yeah.
But do you not think like Akanji's just like a good squad rotator to have around the squad?
Akanji
every week.
Akanji's not playing right now.
He'll bench Vardiol. No, he won't bench Vardiol. He'll bench Husanov and he'll bench Victor Hayes, and he'll just because we're already stuck with Akanji or Aki and Stones. Like, I don't think we can get rid of them. I know Pep's talking about it, but I don't think we can get rid of them. So that's your rotation right there. And then I want the younger players in. If this is a rebuild, I want to watch the new players. I don't want to watch these old ones. Akanji's not here. He's 30 years old. He's not going to be here long term. I want to watch the long-term players play.
Fair enough. I say that Akanji's not playing right now, and neither is Kuznetsov. Neither is Rice. So I don't think that he's the one that's keeping them out of the team. Now, maybe next year that might be the case, because again, when he comes back, do I think that the Stones of the world, the Akis of the world will play when they come back healthy? Yeah, I do. I think Pep's going to rely on them. I genuinely don't think that Hayes is going to play next year. I think he's going to end up somewhere else on loan. Kuznetsov, I think, will stay around. I don't think Juma Bog is going to be around. So maybe, but I just based on what we've seen from Pep so far, I just don't think that they're going to play.
I was going to speak on midfield, but I'll speak on Akanji. I don't think someone who can play right back, center back, and left back
He's too versatile.
Goes on three shifts like that.
Facts.
People forget when we beat Arsenal 4-1 in the treble season, he played left back that game and he fucking pocketed Saka like no tomorrow.
You also need to clear foreign slots. That's a problem.
Well,
you're going to be getting rid of like Kovacic or Nunes or whoever. So there's going to be spots that go. I'm just with Danny. I just think a player that you can play anywhere in that back line and will be happy to hold bench for pretty much the whole season because he will be. I just think you don't get rid of that. I think you've got if you're going to get rid of a defender, you've got to decide. Tarek's right. You've got to decide what you do with Hayes. Is Pep going to play him? And then you've got to get rid of either one of Stones or Ake because they're injury prone. Akanji, very rarely injured. I know he's had a few injuries this year, but he's very rarely injured and he can play anywhere in that back line. I just think he's a very good player to have in that squad. And if it was me, I wouldn't be getting rid of him.
Yeah, I just can't back getting rid of him ahead of the two injury prone players.
Agreed.
I'm ruthless.
You are ruthless. You're a bit too ruthless. You're bloodthirsty.
I want to rebuild. I want to rebuild. Get rid of, burn it all down. Start over.
Yeah, I still want to compete at the highest level as we do it. And I think the way that it sounds like you are going about it would be like, oh, that would be a drastic change. And maybe for me, maybe even too much change. But that's probably why I'm not a manager nor back office staff. So
I want Yashko to play center back because that's where he's best.
I agree with that.
If he has to compete
I agree with that.
Akanji, Pep will probably favor Akanji over Yashko, even though Yashko is showing very, very impressive stuff these past few games, but Pep will just shove him back out wide.
But that's why we need a left back, because if we buy a specialist left back, then I think it's harder to push Yashko out to the left. You have to play him through the middle. It's easy to push him out on left back when there's no one else playing there, and he's good enough to do it. He's the best person on our team to do it at the moment. So,
yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see. I think I've said this a number of times. Yeah, I think Vita Hayes is the key for what happens with that defense, because if Pep trusts him, I don't think he buys a centre half. But if he doesn't trust him, I think you need to buy a centre half on top of the wing backs, which is I already think you need to buy a left back and a right back.
Yeah, both sides.
You know what I mean? And then if he doesn't trust Vita Hayes, then you're going to have to sign another centre half. And if you get rid of Akanji, you have to sign two. So Akanji's not going to go anywhere. I very much doubt that. But yeah, Vita Hayes is the interesting one for me. I don't know what's going to happen there. Because Pep obviously has not really played him. To be fair, he does not have to play him because we've had a couple of players in that position that he's played. But I don't know. In a little bit that I've seen, I think he's been quite good. You know, I know he's only played like against the lower league teams, but he's looked all right to me. Looks like a Brazilian John Stones, but maybe he does need to be loaned out. I don't know. What are you guys saying on Vita Hayes? Are we loaning him out?
For me, I think the sample size is big enough. He's played in Copa Libertadores, which is the South American Champions League. He was in and out of the team for Palmeiras, and I talk to Spartacus off camera sometimes. He says they're the Brazilian PSG. He's more than good enough. And you look at the atmospheres down in South America. I watch a lot of South American football. There's pyro everywhere. There's fights in the sun. There's people throwing stuff on the pitch. And we're saying he can't handle a home game against Leicester City or something like that. I mean, I think he's mentally battle-hardened enough to just go on this team and play some of the easier games.
So there was a tweet yesterday, and because I know like right now we have a situation where we couldn't loan players to Girona because of, as I understand it, at least because of Champions League. With them not being in Champions League, I can see this, not necessarily what I want, but I can see Hayes and Juma Ba ending up in Girona, playing in La Liga if they stay up, assuming they stay up.
Oh yeah, they are proper struggling, aren't they?
Yeah. So assuming they stay up, I could see them going there.
He should. Juma Ba we should loan him again to France. I think that's a good league for him to develop in. I've just started watching Liga like 2 weeks ago.
I am just like Nobbins in the sense that I'm huge on the French league. It's so great for physical development. And, I kind of want to build a partnership with Lens like Chelsea have done with Strasbourg. I mean, I watch Strasbourg week in, week out. They have a team like almost their entire 11's under 23 players, and they're in the mix for Champions League. So if we can build a partnership like that, if we can actually like use our sister clubs effectively, and we talked about this in Martin's Space last night, I think it could really, really help us. It could really help us with the development of young players, because when we've loaned players out in the past, we have a terrible record with them coming back and still being successful for us. I can name one player, two players, Zinchenko, McAtee, and that's it. When you get loaned out from City, you almost never make it back.
You don't make it back. Yeah.
Yeah, I do hear this all the time. People always say, if you get loaned out, you're finished. Well, I don't know if that's fully true. I just feel like the players that we've loaned out just haven't quite worked. You know what I mean? But I don't think it's like necessarily, or if you get loaned out, you're finished at City. I just think like the players that we've loaned haven't done enough. Yeah, I don't know, man. It just seems a little bit weird to me. Let's have a look at some of the comments, man, in the chat. Big up to Jarvis. Says, What's you all next season 11 if all targets are got? Well, obviously, it depends what happens with Edison. I reckon he's probably going to go. Chevalier looks like the one that I'd probably go for, but I don't really know too much about him. I'd probably run Cambiasso left back, Gavardio, Huzanov, and a new right back, whoever that is. Rodri. I'd run Foden and Wirtz, and then Haaland, Marmouche off the left, and then probably Savio right wing. That's probably what I'd run. Oh, Bob. Obviously, Bob's back in it. Yeah, that's probably what I'd run. Any changes there?
Single pivot in the midfield with Rodri. He can do it by himself. So, okay.
Let him do it.
Not coming off an ACL.
He's
gonna need 6 months or so to get
Cambiasso can invert, innit? Cambiasso can invert and help him out.
Yeah. I'm signing Jedi Robinson to play left back. Okay.
Oh, Robinson. He's
an American, by the way. So
this is the American show. So
I'll say this is the perfect call for this show.
He's scouts
American teams, man. What are we doing here? He's part of Milton Keynes.
And he can tackle. And he's fast. And he's homegrown.
Yeah. I have heard of who. Yeah, he's homegrown. Actually, that's a good point. I have heard quite a lot of City fans say go get him, and apparently he's had a mint season.
And he probably knows the area as well. He played for Wigan.
Yeah, he's got a ton of assists.
Yeah. Oh,
you said he plays for Wigan,
by the way.
He used to play for
yesterday, though.
Have you seen this guy?
I love him. I love him. I almost love him more than I do Chevalier. He's an amazing shot stopper.
Where's he play?
He plays for Espanyol. He plays for Espanyol. Arsenal were targeting him last summer to either back up or like uproot Raya. And I've watched him a couple of times, and I think he's incredible. And he plays in like a relegation threatened team, so he gets plenty of sample size to like show shot stopping and whatnot. I don't know. I think he's very good. But I think
his distribution.
His distribution is pretty good. I think I prefer Chevalier's more. I mean, Chevalier's not really an Ederson where you can just pick out the striker, but like medium length, excellent. And that's all you can ask for. You're never going to get a second Ederson.
He's a much better shot stopper too. Some of those stops he makes, like he saved Lille in the last game against Toulouse. Dude, he had like 6 saves in the second half. They were peppering him, and he saved them all.
Yeah. I've not actually watched him yet. I've only watched him on YouTube, which obviously, again, can always make anyone look good. But he did look good, to be fair.
I just started watching him like 4 weeks ago.
I know.
It's not sample size, but I'm convinced.
I know. Yeah, he does look good though. And you know what? He looks like a pretty stocky guy, doesn't he? As well. Do you know what I mean? Like when you look at like people say go sign James Trafford, but I just have PTSD from watching him last year in the Premier League because he's pretty.
Built like a spring bean. It's like big and lanky.
Yeah, he is.
Could he be the second keeper for us?
Trafford.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't see it. I don't think he wants to be number 2, and it's like 40 million quid apparently they want.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't pay that much. I just knew he was Academy kid, so that's why I asked.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, isn't it? I don't know what we're gonna do with our goalkeepers because if both of them leave.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to sign 2, and if Carson leaves, we have to sign 3.
Yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. We're going to have to get all 3.
You reckon Carson's leaving as well?
Isn't there someone from the academy? Brits, is that his name?
Yeah, just
is it Spike Brits? I think.
Yeah, I think that's the name.
Or Oliver Watmouth. Watched him play this morning. Had nothing to do. Won 5-0. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Woke up at 3, went back to sleep at 5 on a Wednesday.
Oh my god.
Because I'm committed.
That's crazy. Bro. I can't lie.
Yeah, you're.
Why do you make it up at 6?
Yeah, that is wild. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's going to be interesting, that, because I think for me, Edison is defo gone. I think he would have signed a new contract by now if he was going to stay. He's on 90 grand a week, so if he was going to stay, City would have offered him the big cash, wouldn't they? And he would have signed it, but obviously he's still not signed a deal, so he's probably going, which is a shame. Ortega wants to be a number 1. He ain't going to be a number 1 at this football club, so he's going to have to leave. And then Scott Carson's like, what, 40 or something?
Yeah.
But they might just
Hey.
say, Carson, just stay one more
Hey.
year and
Don't
then go.
lie.
I know, no slander, no slander. But he might just stay one more year. But there's a lot of work to do, and this is probably why one of the reasons why Tiki stayed on until the summer, because otherwise Viana would have had so much work to do this summer. Can you believe how much work there is to do this summer?
Yeah.
Whenever I
almost
sit
too
there and think
much,
about it, I'm like,
not
yo,
enough
there's
time.
so much to do.
And that's after bringing five signings in
I know.
January.
Yeah, no,
know.
it's actually
That's
terrifying because I mean we were told like ever since Rodri's injury, you're gonna get 1-2 players in January. If we actually got 1 or 2 players in January, we'd be fucked. We'd be fucked this summer. Like you're not gonna get. We need like a full 11 worth of players. It's frightening. Ooh, Marcin Bulka in the chat. That's a very
That's
good
why
shout.
we have to get rid of players.
And he's homegrown. He is homegrown. He's a Chelsea Academy player.
Yeah, I've never heard of him.
Ooh.
I never heard of this
Where
guy.
is he playing?
Wait, if this is a Chelsea, what you say, academy goalkeeper, or
he's at Nice now, but he came through Chelsea's ranks.
I was going to say he's not at Chelsea, is he? Otherwise, he would be playing.
No.
Because they've got
He-
Sanchez
he's
in there.
been-
Chelsea has like 10 keepers.
Yeah, I don't know what Chelsea are doing with their keeper like squad, mate, but that is a
Oh,
joke. The amount of goalkeepers they've
Chelsea's
got.
best goalkeeper is out on loan in Belgium. Don't know what they're doing.
Petrovic.
No, Penders.
Oh, I thought Petrovic was their best goalkeeper.
Petrovic is also having a very good season. But
He's a good goalkeeper, that Petrovic, to be fair.
oh yeah, Strasbourg.
Yeah.
I love my Strasbourg, mate.
Yeah. Now there's a lot. Let me go through some more of these chats.
Talk
Chat
to
Jarvis.
Steve.
Jay says, LB, talk on Rodrigo, the winger you wanted
Oh.
the most. Stinker and hooked, innit? Stinker and hooked. He needs to get out of Real Madrid, by the way, because he's always going to be the fall guy when everything's going wrong. Because they're not going to make Mbappe or Vinny the fall guy. So if I was his agent, yeah, I'd get him out of there. And also, yeah, you're not telling me, yeah, even though he's dropped a couple stinkers, you wouldn't take him at City. No chance. You would definitely take this guy
Not
at
for
City. by the
100
way.
million.
You wouldn't.
After that, 100 million, he's not worth 100 million. He was terrible.
How much would you pay for Rodrigo?
80, 75, 80. I know they won't sell him, but he ain't worth 100.
Even though he was
Everything's 100
stinky,
million
yeah,
when they
I'd
come
still
back.
sign this
Like,
guy. I
no.
can't lie, but he was awful tonight. And he was awful in the first leg.
I think playing in that team with the Vinny Juniors, with the Mbappes, and to a certain extent, even with the Bellinghams, his game is the one that has to suffer the most. He's got to sacrifice the most. If you think about it from a basketball perspective, you think about the Miami Heat back when they had LeBron James, Dwayne
Bosh.
Wade, Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh was like, I came into this team averaging 20 points, but I got to sacrifice in order to just kind of play a role so that those other guys can flourish. I think Rodrigo's had to do that. He's had to step back so that Mbappe can be the quote unquote the main man, so that Vinny Jr. can still be good. So I think it's a little unfair on him.
Yeah. Nah, big up.
He'd be our
big up.
starting left winger, though, which is his best position. He'd take that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, but then
over
what do you do with
Joshua and
Marmoush?
Savio. Yeah.
Where would you play Marmoush? Because I think that's where Marmoush is going to play off the left.
Yeah.
See, I have no idea.
You cooked then, aren't you? Bill Ollie says, Juma Bar is our secret weapon. Trust me. Well, I did try and watch this guy the other week, but it went pear-shaped. So I don't know. I don't know what it's saying, man. I've only watched it for 20 minutes. I know it's
No. He's spitting facts. He's spitting facts.
Yeah.
I've got sample size on him. He's very good.
Do you think?
Didn't Juma Bar? Oh, he was was it just a concussion? I knew he had an injury recently. It was just a concussion. Is that right?
I actually don't know. My stream died when he got injured, so I actually don't know what happened.
Well, I'll speak on the concussion rule. I'm very, very against it now. The referee, I watched the Academy game this morning. Lukasa got this like glancing blow of the head. He wanted to continue. The referee said, no, you're going off. The referee physically subbed him off. I don't understand it.
It should be a doctor that makes that decision, like in the boxing.
No, the referee literally told him, go off. You're not playing anymore. I'm like, what?
They do that.
That's
in
what
the
I'm saying,
NFL.
though. They should get a doctor to make that decision. So I'm pretty sure in boxing that the referee don't make that decision. The doctor comes and has a look at them, and if the doctor thinks that they cooked, the doctor will then tell the referee, and the referee will like, bro, who's a referee to make that decision? They're not a doctor, innit? They don't know if he's got concussion or not. So how can they make that decision? It should be a doctor that makes the decision. Yeah, I'm all game for like protecting the players, but it should be a doctor that makes it, not a referee.
Is there because if it's a team doctor, they're going to err on the side of the team as opposed to the player. So you need someone that's more separate, just kind of, I don't know what the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, like they do the NFL when they got the independent person.
What, is that what happens in NFL then? You've got an independent doctor?
Yeah, they go into like a special tent and like an independent doctor goes in and checks them, and then the independent doctor makes the call. I don't think the teams are allowed to send their doctors in.
Yeah, that's how it should be in football for me. That's how it should be, man. Yeah. What was that message, by the way, on the screen? Oliver sent a message. He said, "Oh yeah, Jima Bar. Yeah, I don't know, man. To be honest with you, like obviously he looks a little bit more ready to go than Vita Hayes, just based off of like physical stature and the fact he's playing a lot of games already in France. So yeah, I don't know whether I reckon Vita Hayes is going to be loaned out. If I'm being honest with you, I think he's
Yeah.
going to be loaned out this
think
summer,
so.
and maybe they'll say, Juma Bar, you're ready to be that guy, that third choice, fourth choice, fifth choice, whatever it is. But that would mean for me, you have to keep Ake and Stones. I know they're going to be injured, but you're going to have to keep them. I don't think you can get rid of them. Otherwise, I don't think we're going to have enough. We've got to
We
learn
need to
from this
utilize them
season.
better. We need to use them before they get injured. Like, actually rotate Yashko a little bit so he doesn't have to play the entire season. Because every time you try to rotate Yashko, Ake gets injured. So Yashko never gets a rest. And I'm like, that guy's going to struggle next season because he played too many minutes this season.
Yeah, no. On Juma Bar, Zohab in the chat brought up a very good point. He played at Valladolid and at Lens in the back five, and you can kind of hide in the back five. You can have all the other people do the work. I want to see him play in the back four. That's why I'd loan him out one more time, because we don't play a back five or a back three. I don't know how he'd work systematically. I want to see him get more defensive action, but I don't know. From what I've seen, I've really liked him. He's got long legs, very rangy, really good in the air. I don't know. It's just a profile we haven't had in a very long time.
All right, then.
Right side.
Yeah,
What?
right side. Yeah,
Right side.
yeah.
Central right side. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's where he played in the 20 minutes while I watched him the other day. But yeah, he didn't have a lot to do because, as Danny's saying, like he has got players around him and that. He looked okay. That 20 minute spell, I thought he looked okay. There was one header that he headed a bit weird back into danger, which I thought was poor. But it's 20 minutes, man. I can't really judge a guy 20 minutes. But he's getting a lot of hype. A lot of people like him. I know Danny likes him. Let me finish off these chats before we talk about the midfielders. Shout out to Jarvis again. Says, trust Bob on the right wing. Yeah, man. I'm there with you on that one.
For it.
Yeah. And Savio can just be a rotator with Bob, whatever. Happy with that. No problems. Big up to Rye Jack, man. Big up to you, bro. Make sure you guys subscribe to this guy's channel as well. Rye Jack 97. Big up to you, mate. Keep going with the content, innit? Shout out to Camaro, who's just become a channel member. And Norbert's also become a channel member as well. Big up to Norbert. Big up to Camaro, both with channel memberships. Appreciate you guys. Right, lads. And Kelly. Midfield. What we're doing with midfield. Because Wirtz, is he coming or is he not coming in it? Now, I did a whole breakdown this morning, a bit of investigation. Yeah. And I think he's joining City, mate. I can't lie. I think we're going to get him. I'm pretty confident. I'm saying a 70% confidence levels on Wirtz. I just read everything that they said this morning. I was like, some of this don't make sense. And the Bayern stuff's very confusing. Whereas the City stuff is very clean. This is the bid. This is the wage. No KDB. You're going to play. There you go. What we're saying, Wirtz, Tariq, let me start with you, man.
I think we would all love to have him. But I'm not as confident that just because we've said, KDB, you can go, we're not going to re-sign you, that it necessarily is a sign that we're going to get Wirtz. That's the same scenario when we let Gundo go originally. I think the thought was, okay, well, we can let him go because we're going to bring these other players in. Now, you would hope that they would learn that lesson and, don't let him go until you're guaranteed to have that replacement. Because, again, no one can do in our squad currently what KDB does. I just don't think there's anyone that can do it. So not having him is a net negative unless you have someone that's going to come in like a Wirtz to take his place. Now, my hope is that, I just don't have the same level of confidence that you do, but I hope to God that you're right. I really do.
Did you watch my stream this morning?
Some of it. I didn't watch the whole thing, but yeah.
If you watched the whole thing, bro, you would be so confident right now.
Okay.
Because
I'll go back and watch.
I exposed it, man. I read the tweets. I did the deep dive. I saw it.
But he hasn't expressed his decision yet. I can't be confident until I know his decision.
Well, he hasn't expressed it publicly, right? That's what we're saying. Yeah.
So it's either 0 or 100. I guess I'm at 50 right now.
Yeah. I hope that, behind the scenes, everything is locked down. It was just waiting to the end of the season to announce it. And I hope that it goes very quickly because we have a quick turnaround. So if we wait it's just, first of all, the longer we wait, the more nervous I get. We've seen a lot of players that we thought we had locked up and we gave them too much time. And then, something else changed. And so don't want that to happen.
Danny Alves.
I wasn't going to say his name, but yes, Danny Alves comes to mind.
We definitely need top 5 if we want Verts, though. I've definitely changed my mind on that. I previously said I don't think that's got a big thing to do with it, but I definitely think we need to get Champions League for us to get Verts. So getting top 5 is mad important. And obviously we need the cash as well because it's a big rebuild.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. What are you saying, Kelly?
I'm not as confident. I just feel like he's destined for Bayern Munich because of the whole German thing. I think he really wants to go to Bayern Munich. This just feels like the Jude Bellingham saga all over again, where his dad's involved and his dad doesn't want him to go to City. His dad wants him to go to Bayern and he wants him to stay at home. And I'm hoping that he just tells dad to shut up and is like, I'm a man, I'm going to do what I want. I think we have the best setup for him. It's like, we still have Pep for 2 years. He could be feeding the ball to Erling Haaland. I don't think anybody else can offer him that kind of opportunity. So, and his spot would be guaranteed. Like, it's very rare that somebody's like guaranteed in a Pep team. And I think he'd be one of them. Because that's the selling point. It's like, hey, you're replacing Kevin De Bruyne. And then him and Foden, I think would be really fun to watch. Because it would kind of just be like Kevin Musiala on the German team.
Yeah.
I have German background, so I follow the German team pretty closely. And I loved watching them in the Euros. I thought they were so fun to watch together. And I'd love to see that every week on City. So but I'm just not confident. I fall for too many rumors. So I kind of just don't believe anything anymore. I'm like, until I see the shirt held up, I'm not believing.
Let me ask you a question though, right? If you think he was going to go Bayern, why would you not think City would be ruled out by now?
I think he's just taking his time. Like you said, I think that point you made this morning was really good about him waiting for the Champions League. That is a very good point. And one I hadn't really considered. So
I didn't consider it until I actually read it on the stream, to be honest. And I read it on the stream. I was like, "Oh my day, this is actually what this means." Because otherwise, why would that matter? Why would that matter? Yeah. I think. You want me to tell you my theory? I don't know if I said this morning, but this is my theory. Now I've had a proper chance to think about it. I think he'll join City if we get Champions League. If we don't get Champions League, he'll sign a new contract at Leverkusen with a release clause. He'll go Bayern next year. Thoughts?
Yeah, that sounds pretty logical.
I think that's what's going to happen, to be honest with
you. You do have a point with the whole Champions League thing. If it didn't matter to him, if City being in the Champions League wasn't a factor, he'd be a Bayern player right now. I mean, he wouldn't. Window's not open, but he would have made a decision by now.
Yeah, that's what I think's happening. We've obviously got a chance, otherwise City would be ruled out. And it would be he's either signed a new contract and he's got an agreement with Leverkusen to go there next year, or he wouldn't sign a new contract and he'd try and force his way out to Bayern this year. But City would be out of the race. I think we're well in it.
Yeah, and City typically, if we know that we're not in it or we have an inkling that we're not in it, they will kind of brief the press that no, we're not interested, or we've gone a different way or whatever. They're not going to wait and quote unquote be embarrassed at the last minute because you wanted this player and you didn't get him.
Yeah, and they have to. This is the thing with Bayern. They're in a bit of an awkward situation because they have to try and get him. They have to try because this is what Bayern have done the whole. Ever since I fucking follow football, is they've always picked off the best German players. If you look at Kimmich, you look at Neuer, you look at Sane, all these guys, they've just go and pick the best, and that's why I don't really rate the league that highly, because they just go and buy all the best German players. Mm-hmm. And Wirtz is obviously one of the best, if not the best, young German player right now. And if they don't try and get him, then it's like, hang on a minute, what they're doing. So for me, I don't know. I think they're in a bit of an awkward situation now. Apparently, Bayern have the money available, all the funds available, so it's not like they're putting out any press to say, if he goes City, it's all because of the money, because that's not what's coming out in the media. Everything that's coming out in the media and the journalists is Bayern have got the money. They let Muller go. That's 17 million euros. They can pay Wirtz whatever. They've got the finance available. The thing will be is we need to wait. And I remember, Danny, you posted this about, who was it in the summer? You posted this about when we signed someone and was in a race and they put some negative comment about a player.
Oh, yeah. This was in the winter when we were signing Vitor Reis. And Real Madrid press briefed and they said, he's
I was going to say
out wide. I'm like, this is how you know it's done.
Yes, that's what we
Yeah,
need.
the
Soon
Real
as we
press.
see that first little bit of negative press coming out of Germany to say they don't like his injury record, he's not recovered from his ACL properly, his wages demands, he wants this, he wants. So we just need that first bit of negativity coming out of Germany, and then we know. But at the moment, we've not really had that, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? The only thing that I like from a City point of view is that one, he's not ruled us out, and two, our offer seems way more clean than the buying stuff. The buying stuff looks mad complicated. Cities is that's the wage, that's the fee, done. Maybe we can talk to Ortega and McAtee, but whatever.
Yeah.
We're ready to go. Theirs is mad. Like they've got so many names. I was reading for thing this morning on the tweet. There's like so many different people involved in it. I was like, what is going on here? It's actually insane.
I don't
So
think that's
yeah,
a secure situation to walk into at Bayern. I mean, I know you're pretty much guaranteed the Bundesliga, but they have a lot of older players too who are going to be phasing out soon. Like Kimmich is like 31, 32. Goretzka's garbage.
did you see that starting
Muller's
11 today?
leaving.
You see the starting 11 today?
I mean,
Yeah, that was like dusty. It was like
It was
Olise
trash,
and,
man.
and Kane, and that was about it.
they've kind of already phased Neuer out. They have this Urbig guy. I want to say they signed him from Cologne.
Yeah, Neuer's
not
like
Cologne.
38.
Eric
39.
Dyer playing at centre half.
I know.
Well,
Yeah.
Dyer was only signed to so Harry Kane would have a friend. We all know that. I guess he's good enough.
Oh, to be fair though,
Yeah,
that header today was cold. Did you see that header?
Yeah,
How
I
else
thought
he
it,
got
I
that
thought he
in
was
from there?
I thought he was just playing it as a pass across the box, but it went in. So hey,
Yeah, that was a mad header. I can't believe that went in from there. Like honestly, like respect to Dyer for that. That was crazy. But yeah, Kim Min Jae is just like not worked out at all, has he?
Yeah, he's not been good on Bayern. He should have stayed at
No.
Napoli.
No,
One,
that's
one of the craziest career paths of all time, but no, not a very good player.
all right then. So on Verts then, yo, shout out to Sam Caddick as well for becoming a member. Big up to you, mate. Appreciate it. So if we don't get Verts, right, let's just say I think we're going to get him, right? But you know, maybe you aren't confident, whatever. If we don't get Verts, is it Sudakov time? What do we do? What do we do if we don't get Verts? Because we need to sign someone because we've let Kevin De Bruyne leave.
I think it'll be the Baena guy. Release clause. He's like tearing up La Liga. He's got like a ton of assists. Like the release clause to me just screams like one last swan song for Tiki. He wouldn't go without an extra release clause.
See, I like Xavi Simons, but then again, if you're not getting the A tier cream of the crop player that Verts is, you have to support him with someone like a Reinders, a Hugo Larsson, who can get goals, who can crash the box, who can create for themselves. Verts is okay. Verts can function on his own with anyone else around him. But if you're not getting Verts, you have to sign multiple players.
but if you're not signing Verts for 150, maybe there's enough to get multiple players because I don't know how much Xavi Simmons is going for, but you could get him. And then, like you said, Reinders is, I think they were like 50 to 60 euros. So 50 to 60 million euros. So you might be able to pull up both of them off for that amount. Hit two positions.
Yeah, I think you've got to hit. I think you've got to get two for me. If you don't get Verts, you've got to get two players that can create. And by the way, that's on top of the all-round player that I'm still wanting to sign. Yeah, I don't know who that is. I don't know whether that's going to be Wharton, Belabor, Camavinga, all these sort of names that we've been linked with. Yeah, for me, you've got to go and sign another all-round player. So that's three midfielders you need to sign. However, what I would say is if you sign Baena, not only could he play in the midfield, he can also play left wing when Jack Grealish leaves. So yes, you're signing two, but you're also signing your winger, so your winger's then done. So I think Baena is an interesting one, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on there with him because I don't know whether he wants to stay in Spain. People say that Martin said that he wants to stay in Spain. I don't know what the situation is with that one. But yeah, if we don't get Verts, man, I'm not that confident, to be honest. I'm not that confident in what happens next year. I just think we have to get him. We have to get him for me. Or you full send Messi. And you say Messi season, it's time. It's time to go. It's time to go. Come on. You've had 6 months off because Pep ain't playing you for some reason. It's time to go. Yeah, and then we just got to hope and pray that he actually works. Otherwise, I'm going to get cooked. And so will Danny.
Yes. We will know this summer if you're going to get cooked or not because we're going to see. We have to see Messi in the Club World Cup. So if he doesn't shine at least a little bit,
you won't tell us what ideas we stole.
It sounds like it's the whole I think he just had a post in there about the American Blues or something like that.
Oh, he's a guy that show as well. Yeah.
No, LBD the first about a week before Martin did. So get back.
Oh, hold that
Stateside
there.
Blues.
Oh, so you got,
Oh,
shot. Oh, I'll take the 50K then. No, it's,
Nobbins
it
is
is
going to be LB's lawyer.
Yeah, no, I got Nobbins on it as well. He said he mentioned it 4 weeks ago. Bro, I swear down, I messaged Danny no time ago, bro. Nah, it's mad. You know what it is though, yeah, for me, is Pep's gonna play Pep's gonna play him left wing anyway. I already know HMS is getting stuck on the wing, man. That's definitely
In what, cup games?
Yeah, he's gonna get stuck on the left wing, he's gonna be trash, and everyone's gonna be like, he's shit, just like they did with Cole Palmer. That's what they did with Palmer, which is a bit annoying. But yeah, I don't know where we go from there. If you don't get Verts, I don't know what City will do. I know Simmons is definitely available because he's only got a 2-year contract. So could you go and get him? Simmons and Baena would be decent. I think that's what you've got to do. You just got to do the best you can do, can't it? Innit? That's the thing. If you can't get Verts, you've just got to get the best you can. And for me, I think that's Baena and Simmons and get them both. Because I think Simmons will probably cost you about 70 and Baena will probably cost you 50. That's probably what you would have paid for Verts anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
But Simmons is going to be what, 70, 80? Like, I feel like, because didn't Leipzig buy him for what, 50 something or 60? Like, they're going to want to make a profit.
50 million euros they paid for him.
Okay.
So that's about 40 million quid. So if we bought him for 70, they're making a nice little profit there, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't think, is he worth 70 though? I don't really watch him, so I don't know. But
I thought you said you watched German football.
I don't watch Leipzig. I've been
Oh.
watching the French league lately.
All right. I thought you said you watched German football, so I thought you knew about him. No,
I
I
watch
don't really know
Dortmund,
much
but I don't
about
watch
him
him all
either.
the time. I
No.
started watching League On to do Chevalier watch.
I rate him, and we have Agent Savino. They used to be teammates back in the day, a couple of years ago.
Did they?
Maybe that's the same.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
They played for PSV together.
Oh, no way.
Mm.
And there's like
No.
a picture of them celebrating like that or something. Like the yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't think our agents work very well because wasn't Agent Holland supposed to get Jude Bellingham in the door?
Well, Agent Foden
That
got
didn't work
Holland.
out.
I'll
I'm
say
glad we
Foden
didn't-
got Holland.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm glad we didn't get Bellingham, to be honest. I'm kind of glad. Actually, Rice is the one that we probably should have gotten. With the hypothetical.
Yeah. We should have put our effort
That was-
for
that was
Jude
the miss.
into Rice and then given Jude the Rice treatment. Because we
Yeah.
just kind of swooped in on Rice at the end and just was like, hey. And I think West Ham really wanted to sell him to us too. I think they did not want to sell him to Arsenal.
Nah, defo. Palmer, I'd defo get Palmer if I could get him, but I don't know. Probably hard to get him. And a lot of City fans hate him now for some reason. I don't know
I was
why.
gonna say he's getting a lot of hate right now.
He is trash at the moment. I watched the game at the weekend. He was bad. He was bad. But I'm not sure if I don't know what his best position is, man. I always felt when he was coming through the academy and he played for City, I always felt his best position was right wing.
Wide right, absolutely.
I thought he was a Mahrez regen. I'll
Yeah.
regen. I'll tell you now as well. I spoke to his dad, and that's what he's got. That's what he said as well. He said he was told, that he was going to be the Mahrez replacement. Mahrez, not Kevin De Bruyne, not the Foden in the middle, right? So I think he can play in the middle. I think he's definitely good enough for that. But I think for me, I always viewed him as a right winger. I thought it was just a Mahrez regen, and then we let him go, bro.
Yeah.
Bro. That's why I'm so frustrated. You know what I mean? But yeah. All right then. So that's that sorted. What about our all-rounder midfielder? Now we've been linked with who? We've been linked with Wharton. Yeah. But I don't.
Baleba?
Every time I watch him, he's trash. Who?
Baleba?
Yeah. That's the name
Ethan.
as well. Camavinga.
Do
So
we
these
think
are the sort of
Reinders
names.
an all
I say
around?
Reinders.
Or is he
Yeah,
more
we've been linked with
up
him.
front? Is he more like 8'10" versus like 6-ish?
No, I think he's an 8,
He's-
Reinders.
Yeah, 6'8", I think.
I think I think that's the sort of guy we'd be looking for. But he did sign a contract in like January, so I don't know what's going on there if he's got a release clause or whatever. But yeah, what we're saying on that one, because for me, I think we need a top quality 8. Now whether that could be Reinders, I don't know. We've obviously been linked with Gibbs White as well, but I don't know if he's being targeted as a Verts replacement or an 8. So I'm not sure what's going on there. But shout out to Ed as well, man.
Figure the
Big up
fan
to you,
base is
bro.
one name.
Yeah, I know.
What's up,
Ed,
man?
get on here, man. Tell us about this all-rounder midfielder that we need to sign, bro.
Big up, everybody. Everybody in chat. Hit the like button. We got a lot of people up in here repping the U.S. tonight. I love to see it. How everybody doing?
we're all
Good,
good.
man. Glad to have
Nice.
Yeah.
Snake, bro.
Wow, no.
Sorry, what's going on, man?
We have bloodbath in the chat soon.
That's funny, man. Yeah, we're talking about midfield squad rebuild, Ed, and we were chatting about the sort of like the 8, not the Virch replacement, not Kevin De Bruyne replacement, like basically the Gundogan replacement from 2 years ago that we've still not sorted out. We're saying like the names that we've been looking at. Who you sort of looking at as your 8?
My number one option is Rangers. That's my number one for me for that position. I think, I know everybody likes these young players, but I think City is a win now club. I think, Nico is a good youngster. He still has a lot to learn, but I will go for Rangers. He's experienced. About to turn 27, about to go into his prime. And if you watch the guy play, like he's a good player for me. I know AC Milan, I think the thing was when he signed a new contract was if they get Champions League or not. And I think they're 8 points off of Juventus.
Let me have a look.
And it's a good price. You're talking about what, 60 million euros?
Right, they're 9th. They are, they're 8 points off. They're 8 points off Champions League football with 6 games to go. So that's heavy, that, innit? That's tough to do that. That is tough. Is that what it is then? If you don't get Champions League, you can leave. Is that what what they're
that's
saying?
what a lot of people are saying. That he signed a new contract, but if they didn't get Champions League, he might move on.
Nah, bro, they're cooked, man. Look at their fixtures, yeah? They've got
yeah, they're not. I don't think they're gonna make up 8 points.
Nah, bro, they've got Atalanta.
No.
They've got they got Roma away. Nah, they're finished.
Speaking of Americans, shout out Christian Pulisic.
Shout out Yunus Musa as well.
And Musa, yes.
Yo, but now you've mentioned Pulisic, I have to mention.
No, he's not good enough for City.
No, but I have to. Now you've mentioned it, I have to mention the clip from the Pawn Stars series when the guy's like, he's the LeBron James of soccer.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, what is he doing there, man? What are you talking about? No, he's not. So you mentioned his name, so I had to say that. It was a funny clip.
American.
You remember when he turned into fucking prime Ryan Giggs during Project Restart? He fucking cooked us at Stamford Bridge, I remember.
Yeah. There's definitely a player in there. in there.
No, he's a good player.
He's streaky. He's very streaky.
Very
he has periods, what they call them purple patches, where he's like amazing, and then he'll disappear, and half the time it corresponds to an injury that he picks up.
Yeah, and he's still pretty young, isn't it?
I thought he's like 27.
He's like 25.
Mid
25,
I was
going to say 26.
But he's been around the game.
He's been around forever.
He was like a up and coming player in like 2016.
Yeah, he was like
went to
one of the
Dortmund
first,
at like 14.
US
15.
players, to go overseas when he was like a youngster.
Yeah, I think he was like 14 or 15 when he first went to Dortmund.
Yeah, he was very young. And he got called up to the U.S. team at like age 15 or 16. I swear to God, he played a game in Kansas City, which got demolished like 15 years ago.
First international goal, Bolivia in Kansas City, 4-0 win. I remember that game. I watched that game on TV.
I think I was probably watching it too.
But the reason I like Rangers over even like a Baleba is because of the scoring ability. I still feel like our 8 still needs to chip in goals, still need to be somewhat creative, get into the box, be a box crasher. And I don't know if I see that out of Baleba. Baleba's more of like a destroyer type. But I think we need that box crasher.
I've gone cold on Baleba, if I'm being honest with you. Like, I think when we didn't have a 6, I was like, get him in the team, get him, because he was amazing. But to be honest with you, I don't think he's the one for us, because I have serious questions about his technical ability on the ball, man. I can't lie.
He's just physical. Yeah. We need some of that. The league is just getting so physical. I think we need to get some more physical.
It is, but I think Ed's right on the goals and stuff. I don't think he's technically good enough for what I've seen. Now, I've not seen that much of him, but what I have seen, I'm like, he's obviously off the ball and his tackling abilities he's world class already, in my opinion. Yeah, but on the ball, I don't think he's quite got what we need. And that's what will be needed in that position because he will be expected, as Ed says, to chip in with some goals, chip in with some assists, create, dictate play, basically do what a bit of Gundogan did in the treble year when Gundogan was he sat next to Rodri, but then he got forward, he got a couple of goals, got a couple. I don't think Balaba's got that in his locker. Also, I'd also say this is if we go back to dominating games and dominating the ball, are you going to see that destroyer from Baleba as much as maybe I don't see that stuff. So I think he's going to be a great player, and I think whoever gets him, great signing. But I don't think he's for us.
Also, the big problem is Tony Bloom. He'll extort us.
Yeah,
he'll ask for like 150 million. It's like no.
You can get 2 serviceable players for the price of one Baleba. That's fact.
Yeah, just get Adam Wharton. It'll be half the price, and he's homegrown.
Have you actually seen this guy have a good game though? Because I've not.
I was going to ask, how did people think he played against us the other night?
Nah, not good.
I think he got an assist on the assist on the free kick or whatever, but that was
on
it,
the corner,
right?
Yeah, it was a good
corner.
Yeah.
It was like a shame when Palace asked for 100 million for him after that performance.
He was like anonymous, so you didn't even know he was on the pitch.
No. And that's about Rodri too. Like I expect him to get dominated if Rodri's out there, but like you got punked by like Kovacic and I guess I wanted to say Bernardo, but he didn't play.
He's more of like a deep line playmaker. I don't think he, you know what I'm saying? Like what we're talking about, crashing the box, being around the box. I think he has good passing range, like what we saw in the kick. But like I said, you're gonna need some dribbling ability in tight spaces. I don't know if he's that.
Yo, what the hell is this?
That's
this
disgusting. Mahrez,
tell me this is like a team talk sauce or something. Ain't no way this can be legit.
Elliot, you're a waffler. Everyone knows there's a hyphen between X and Manchester. Wannabe journalist. He's made that up. I'm sure he has.
I think the source is trust me, bro.
Ain't no way that's legit.
That's not real.
Yeah. Look at him. Fucking waffler.
Nah,
I know Elliot.
Fake news, man. Fake news, man. What are you doing here, man?
Mahrez ain't gonna take a pay cut.
Nah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Just don't go there,
that, man. That's a madness. Nah, you shouldn't do that, innit? You shouldn't do that, guys. That's not funny, you know. You ought to be going there for a second. I would have believed that as well, you know, because like his girlfriend, wife didn't even want to go Saudi, innit? So it wouldn't have surprised me if she wanted to come back and he thought, I'll come back to the Premier League.
It feels like everybody that goes to Saudi wants to come back within a year or two. So I wouldn't be surprised if all of them want to come back to a certain extent.
Yeah, nah, facts. All right, so we've done the midfield. What about wingers? Because I think we need a winger at this football club. Yeah, personally. Because if Jack Grealish leaves, that leaves us with Bob, Stevino, Doku, and then sort of like Marmoush and Foden as like, you know, not really wingers, but they could play there. Is that good enough? Is it enough? What are you saying? Because I'm putting my cards on the table. I think we need a winger. Now I don't know if it's Rodrigo. I've been previously saying get Rodrigo from Real Madrid, but to be honest, I don't know about that. Yeah, what are you guys saying on the winger, Kelly? Let me come to you.
The winger market is
we need one who can score. Like that's the problem. It's just like nobody can score on the wing. Like Savio and Doku, like I get they're young and they're developing, but put the ball in the back of the net.
But
we definitely need that.
All the ones who can score are young and play for big clubs. Don't think you're going to force them out of there. I don't think.
Do you reckon you could get Barcola out of PSG if they just
don't know. I don't think you can get.
But do you not think if they go, you know what, Doué is going to be our guy? Do you not reckon that they'll sell Barcola and just keep Doué?
Well, you're leaving a club with a giant winger pool and joining another club with a giant winger pool.
Yeah, but Barcola would walk into our team.
Yeah, I think Doku's on the clock too.
I saw
Doku gets injured too much, and Pep made comments about injury-prone players needing to go. He's been injured a lot this season, and last season too. And he's very young. Like that's not like his hamstrings. He's had a lot of hamstring problems at a young age. Like that's not going to improve.
I've said this. He reminds me of Reece James with his physical build. And I've said I'm scared for Doku that he's going to go down that sort of, because if you look at him, he's like so muscly in that, and his game solely relies on his explosiveness to move and beat a man. And if we don't protect him properly with his injuries and we rush him back or whatever, he'll be cooked. Because if he loses that explosiveness, he is finished as a footballer at the top level. I'm sorry, he is. So we've got to be super careful when it comes to Doku. Yeah. Now, I'm not even Doku's biggest fan personally. You know, I'd give him one more year. If he doesn't up it, I'd get rid of him. But still want to protect him and make sure we don't ruin his guy's career, innit? You know what I mean? But yeah, Barcola's an interesting one, man, because I'm not the guy's biggest fan, but he's got 18 goals and 16 assists this year in 3,000 minutes, which shits on all our wingers. And if they do want to play Doué as their like main left winger going into next season, because he looks an unbelievable player, then you might be able to get him out of PSG. He's only got 3 years left on his contract.
But it's the same type of young player, though. You know,
I hear it. Yeah.
even
know.
when we saw him against Aston, like he might have a good game here, might have a bad game for a couple games. You know, like he's still a young player that's going to need time to develop too.
No, I hear it. I know, and I don't really want that. But who's out there that we can get? It's like 24 to 27, because if they're over 27 now, apparently they're too old. And you know, we can get at a reasonable price. Who can we get? Any names?
I just don't know who you can get who's proven and you're not going to pay an arm and a leg for, or you can
That's
get
the
out.
point, isn't it?
You're gonna have to, if you want a winger, you're gonna have to gamble on another project. I'm just don't know about that.
But if Marcus is our main left winger, would you want another one? That's the question that I was going to have
Who's
to
better
make.
behind Holland, but that doesn't seem to be gaining a lot of traction.
No.
I think the issue is if you bring in Verts, are you going to one of them is going to play out left?
No.
Verts or Marmouche, whichever one.
Surely it's Marmouche.
Liao in the chat. Liao's been dusty for like 2 seasons. He did that 1 year, and now he's just like crap.
There is a part of me that would argue that Marmouche brings enough goals from wide positions for us to get by. But
do you not think we need? You know what you could do then is if you run Marmouche, Bob, Savio, Doku, and Foden as potential wingers, you've got enough there in terms of numbers. Wait another year, see what Doku's saying, see what Savio's saying, and then maybe you do this. Maybe you do the winger signing in 2026.
Yeah,
you get your defense sorted, you get your goalkeeper sorted, you get your midfield sorted this summer, which is a lot of work. We've already discussed that, how much that is, and then you give those wingers another year, and then if you get to 2026 and Doku's not picked up his game, then maybe you look at moving him on and replacing him. You know, Savio is probably second year, so maybe you want to give him one more year. But again, maybe if he drops off next year, whatever. Yeah, maybe. I just think our winger, they just don't score goals. That's my problem. I really have a problem with Doku and Savio. I kind of like them, you know what I mean? Doku's fantastic to watch. He's brilliant to watch. One of the greatest wingers you can watch in football, but it's irrelevant if you don't score goals. And Savio, I think Savio is going to be a good player, but he needs to work on that shooting. I need some goals from the wing because I can't just rely on Haaland. Haaland has
he's also a creator too. And so I saw a tweet, I don't know, today, whatever, and it was talking about like goal creating actions or whatever, you know, all these new age stats. But anyway, he's not far off of Doué, right? People talking about we want Doué, but he's not. He's like right there with him as far as the number of goals and assists that he creates. So I just think I personally would be willing to just ride with Savio because I think he has all the potential in the world. We saw what he did at Girona in La Liga. I think we just got to just keep giving him minutes. I think it's going to come.
He gets a lot of assists too, especially
that's what I'm saying. He does both.
Yeah. Well, I think it's important that these people connect with Haaland because Haaland is like we committed 10 years to him, and you can tell that Haaland and Doku don't have a lot of they're not in sync with each other.
Nah. They don't. They have not got
like Haaland
lines,
I think he's too erratic for Haaland, and Haaland I think Haaland likes some more predictability. Like he knows where to be, and like Doku just has these crazy crosses. And I mean, granted, right now nobody's getting in the box, but
I'll say, but reality is people should know where to be. They should know where to be. Every cutback from Doku is going to the near post or to like the circle. Yeah. So for Haaland to keep going back post, I just feel like that's poor decision making on his part. Now again,
he's been kind of lazy, Haaland. I've questioned him many games this season where he's kind of stopped running.
But if he's going to make that back post run, that's fine. But we need that 8 that's going to be crashing the box, that's going to be coming near post to tap that in. So either way, we've got that covered. But if Gundo can't make those runs anymore, like he used to, who's getting in the box? There's no one there.
Grinders, no. Or Nico
Nah,
Riley. What about him?
100%. Now,
Okay,
the
give him
thing
a chance
is,
to get
though,
forward.
JCM, I don't think that is on Doku because you're asking Doku to beat a man, get to the byline, and then put a cross into the back post with his weak foot. I don't think it is, and I'm not Doku's biggest fan, but I defend Doku a lot because I don't think Doku's done much wrong in that situation. He is not going to be able to get to the byline and put a cross into the back post with his weak foot. That's just not going to happen. So either one of two things needs to happen. Yeah, Haaland needs to make a near post run. Yeah, this is if Doku's staying on the left, or Tarik's right. You've got to have a box crasher, which used to be Gundogan. Now, what I would say is Doku and Aguero, they would have been great together because
Yes.
Aguero loved the near post. Aguero loved the near post. Haaland don't love the near post. Haaland loves the back post. He's waiting for that ball to come back to him so we can head it in. Yeah, that's what he's waiting for. Doku ain't going to do that. And that's the reason why Doku apparently has 1 assist for Haaland in the last 2 years. Facts don't lie. That's the truth. But I think it's a coaching issue. I've said that for time. I don't think it's a Doku issue. I don't think it's a Haaland issue. I think the coaches need to be like, yo, Haaland, you need to get to the front post, or midfielder, you need to get to that front post because Doku's going to cross the ball and you need to be there. You know, I think Doku gets a lot of flack, really. I think he gets a lot of stick from some of our fans. But like I say, I think on that particular issue, I think you've got to defend him because what's he meant to do? He's not going to be putting a cross into the back post on his weak foot, is he? No chance. Or the alternative is you put him on the right and then he's on his strong foot. So if Haaland is at the back foot, then you're saying to Doku, right, no excuses now. I give you the pass when you're on the left because you're left-footed. Yeah, I can't expect you to do that. But now you're on the right, you need to be getting that cross into the back post. But again, you don't really see Doku too much on the right-hand side, do you?
You can't complain about complain on both sides, right? We complain about Pep about not having people inside the box. And then we complain about Doku not finding anybody in the box. Like, you're asking for him to hit one person, Haaland, who's double teamed, so it has to be a perfect pass on his weak foot. That's basically what you're asking for. Now, could he control the ball better and maybe slow the tempo down and maybe wait, like we've seen some other wingers do, and pick out a pass? Then, yeah, maybe you can say that. But I think until we get our midfield better, like even think about Rangers and a Verts or a Simmons, they all crash the box too. So you're going to have more people in the box next. And then another big position for us, fullbacks. You're going to have a fullbacks maybe in the box too. So there's going to be more people.
Or if they get those overlapping fullbacks, then it's going to allow those players to cut in on their strong foots, which is really what Pep was wanting from them. And it's going to create this. Marmouche is going to be coming inside. He won't be playing on the touchline like, you know, a lot of our wingers have in the past.
And for me, it's not even just box crashing. It's having people on the edge of the box as well, second balls. That's another reason why I'm so reluctant to let go of Kolicic. He scored 2-3 goals.
I was going to say.
We're going to have Rodri back. He can do that.
Just on the edge of the box. He just places it in the bottom corner. Rodri's a good one as well. Foden,
he's a big mess this season in that.
Foden reclaims his form, another good one. So, you know, people always say, oh, stop shooting from range. It's one of the most effective ways to break down the low block. And people just completely discount it.
Yeah, you've got to shoot, but you need good players from shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have that
like it when Kyle Walker was shooting.
No, not really. No,
don't bring that up. No,
you want players like
40 yards every
shooting. De Bruyne shooting, Foden shooting. This is the players you want shooting.
No, I was going to bring up Kova's outside shot because I think whoever plays in that 6-8, we seem to create a lot of opportunities for that player to shoot from distance, which is why Rodri got a bunch of goals, which is why Kova has scored the most goals of his career with us, because he's learned that these are the opportunities, these are the spaces that I need to be in and where my shot's going to come from. And then so now when the ball comes to him, he's not thinking about it. He's taking that first time or whatever. And so we're seeing him be able to score more goals. And so whoever comes in needs to be able to do that, which is why if it's a Reinders over a Baleba, cool, I'm with that, because again, we want someone that's got that shot in them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I don't know if you guys have seen this earlier on. Inter Miami, Chicago Fire, New York City, and DC United have begun exploratory talks aimed at Kevin De Bruyne. Is any of those teams
DC United?
I've already said if he goes to Chicago Fire, I will be there multiple times this season. I might even go get season tickets because I love him that much, right? I think it's time for him to go, but it's also I love him. I never bought a shirt with a player's name or number on it until this year, and I was like, I refuse to let him leave, and I don't have something with his name and number on it, so I had to go buy a shirt with his number on it. I would love for him to go to Chicago, but I think it's more likely that he ends up either New York City or Inter. Out of that
he's
list.
not going to San Diego.
Yeah,
I can actually get a nonstop flight there, so I was like, "Come to San Diego. I got family there. Come."
Yeah, no. Miami and New York City are the more logical ones, but Chicago and DC each have a Belgian player.
Ooh, Chicago's a nonstop flight.
I was going to say Chicago. They don't really have. I mean, I haven't paid attention this season, but
yeah, Chicago are actually cooking this season.
Are they? Okay,
they've actually done well.
Historically they've been so poor that I just not paying attention.
Schweinsteiger went?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
There's a stat that came out like a month ago or 2 months ago. It was like, this is the first time they won 3 straight games in like 15 years. I'm like, that is really bad.
Yeah, that's kind of mad. That's kind of sad, man, that he's going in it. I think it's sad that he didn't want to leave as well.
Nah, he's screw all these teams. Come to San Jose Earthquakes.
No, but DC United
my team.
I want to see him play with Benteke at DC, like the good old.
DC's that actually might be cool.
Yeah, DC's my dark horse.
Oh yeah, no, that's crazy, man. Yeah, we'll have to see where he goes in it. Obviously, you'd imagine City want to keep him at New York City, but I don't know if they're that arse. I don't know how that whole stuff works, isn't it? You know what I mean?
But reality is, if he wants to still continue to play at the top level, he's not going to any of these teams. He's going to try to stay over in Europe somewhere. And that I just hope and pray, and again, saw the thing about maybe he goes to Liverpool or whatever. That would be crushing to see him suit up for another Big Six or top 16.
Oh yeah,
I doubt he'll do that. I don't think he'll do that. I think if he wanted to play at the top league, at a top level, he'd just go to a European team. I don't see why he'd go to a top 6 team in England. Surely he wouldn't.
I'm surprised he doesn't go back to Belgium and play or Germany, one of the two.
You should go to Italy. You should go play for Inter.
I wouldn't be surprised if Barca would take him as a squad rotator. Why wouldn't they take him?
I haven't thought.
He'd go there, ask for no money basically, because he's not asked about the money, and he can just rotate with whoever they've got.
They have plenty of runners too, and he needs the runners. And we saw how good those runners made Gundogan look last season.
You could chill with Lewandowski for a year.
Oh damn, that'd be cooking.
Oh mate, nah. The sort of old school football fan of me from about 10 years ago needs to see De Bruyne and Lewandowski on the same team. They're like
that's a good shout.
They were the 2 best players in the Bundesliga like 10 years ago. Can you imagine if they're on the same team now? Oh
yeah.
Make it happen. That was the guy.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's have a look at some of these chats, man. Big up to Therese. It says Bayern is trying to use external pressure for Wirtz to choose them. Everything is played out in the media. Doesn't look like a confident club to me, says to. Well, yeah, this is another thing, isn't it? There's a lot going on. Go on, Ed.
I know I missed the works section, but Alonso is tracking to Madrid, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I had someone message me during the game saying Carlo had gotten sacked. I was like, in the middle of the game? Like, what?
He's definitely gone at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Alonso could be going there. So, I mean, it's going to be up to him, man. Wherever he feels like he's going to be the best him.
Well, if Wirtz goes to Madrid, then we got the pick of the litter on a couple of their players.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy summer. So, but I think we're still the best club for him, if I'm just being honest. I do.
And
this is not me being a City fan. It just makes a lot of sense when you line everything up. But the only question is, Pep would have to talk to him about what system we're going to be playing next season, and if he wants to be in that system, right? Because he's not going to want to come how we're playing now. He's going to want overlapping fullbacks. He's going to want to play direct.
Yeah. But Pep has come out in a press conference and said he wants fullbacks. So, yeah, maybe. I don't see him going Madrid, bro. I can't lie. I can't see him going Madrid. I do not see that at all.
They usually don't spend the money unless they are dying for the player. I know they did for Jude. Usually they just leverage them into freeze.
I do wonder.
That's true.
I do wonder if after Ancelotti goes, they do like a PSG thing where they like kick all the egos out and they just try and become a better team.
I think they
This-
should. I think
I-
they're
yeah.
dysfunctional right now.
PSG, Enrique's come in. They've placed less emphasis on individual players, and their system's
Yeah.
absolutely cooking right now.
They just Danny. When I watch Real Madrid, they remind me of PSG when they had Neymar, Mbappe, and Messi.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what
and
they
they're
remind me of.
dysfunctional.
And this
They're
is what I tell
dysfunctional.
people. That's what I tell people. You say Ancelotti's one of the best managers of all time. What are his tactics? No one here can tell me what Ancelotti ball is. He doesn't have tactics.
It's paying the
I-
ref.
I might be dead wrong there, but I can't tell you what his tactics are.
Nah,
It's more about
the-
man management or whatever. Just
Yeah, I
put
think they're
players out
going
there
to
and let them play.
give a new coach a year to see it first, and then they might do something like that. I think they're going to want to see these players play underneath like Alonso and him, because he's known for some tactics, and see if he can make it work. If not, they might move some guys out.
Yeah, this is why, when I have this conversation about like how much you should be able to spend in the Premier League, and people say, well, Newcastle just buy Mbappe and this guy and that guy, I'm like, bro, PSG did that. They literally did that. PSG, and they won fucking no Champions League. They won no Champions League, and you just think, what? Because if it happens in the Prem, that Newcastle just start winning everything. That's not how it works. You've got to build a team, and that's what PSG have now done, and they look phenomenal. You know what I mean? Whereas previously they've not done that. They brought all the big dogs, thinking that's how it works. Not FIFA. In real life, it's not like FIFA. On FIFA, yeah, you would have Mbappe, fucking Vinny Jr. and Rodrigo. Yeah, you would do that, but it ain't FIFA, man. You got to build a proper team. And when I watch PSG, they're so good to watch. They're a brilliant team to watch, proper entertaining, and they're miles better than they used to be. And that's mad considering the players they had in it. But yeah, Real Madrid are cooked, man. Yeah, I mean they might legit win nothing this year. Imagine that. That'd be insane. Wouldn't it?
I
hate to see it.
had Arsenal beating them, and I was right. I was dead right.
Yeah, nice. You cooked on that one. Yeah, big up to
Don't be
Teresa.
right about Arsenal beating anyone else, though. Okay, let's
Yeah,
let them
don't
go
be right
out
on that one.
and
I-
get in that run.
I did
Once
tell
they face the
someone.
low block, they're done.
I did tell someone in December. I think Arteta is like so well built for Champions League because he hardly ever loses. He draws a fuckload of games, but he never loses games.
Nah, that is
Unless
facts.
it's West Ham or Fulham.
Exactly.
Those are like his bogey teams.
West Ham away
They're like
right after
full
the league.
America every year.
Yeah, it's gonna be mad. Yo, big up to Thanko says, Danny, how many from the academy can transition?
It depends how much we rebuild the team. If there's still holes after the summer, I think the door's open. But man, that under 18s team, sky's the limit for a lot of them.
Yeah.
19 straight league wins. My favorite stat is they've conceded 1 goal in their last 9 games, and
Wow.
seven of those games were away as well.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
They're an incredible team. 3
That
wins
They
away.
should start being ready right when Pep leaves. So maybe the new manager would actually play some of them, and we don't have to sell them for PSR profit.
Mm. Do
Yeah.
you reckon we'll sell
homegrown
Mukasa in
It's
the
right
summer?
there.
Yeah, do you reckon we're selling Mukasa in the summer? Because he ain't going to stay another year in the academy, is he?
Yeah, I don't know.
Isn't he supposed to
I
be
really.
That sounds like that would be a
Don't.
really bad decision based on everything I'm hearing.
I know, but what can you do if you've got Virch, you've got Foden, you've got Etcher Messi? Like, you can't have them all, can you? You have to sell them.
It's
Oscar
hard.
Bob too.
But if you sold Mukasa, you could get maybe 30 mil for him, maybe.
Well, not if he doesn't have any first team experience.
Nah, I reckon if you're proper highly rated, you could get decent.
No,
cash
it's
for
straight
him.
out the academy though.
Yeah, I reckon you could.
It's too much of a gamble.
We
I
got
think
we
you
got
could
like
do it
15
though,
for
right?
Sancho, and that was about 8 years ago.
How much? 15 or what?
I swear we got like 15 for Sancho.
Yeah,
or
you
like
might be
12 or
looking
something.
there.
I swear we got like 12 or 15 million for Sancho, and that was
then
like
maybe
8
Didn't he
years
go to
ago.
the Club World Cup?
Yeah, he's getting a new
Yeah,
deal.
you get a lot going there. That's my hope, at least.
Him and Echeverry.
I'd send a good 4 or 5 of them over there. I think they're that good.
Yo, what the hell, man? Stop the slander, bro.
I mean,
That's
he's
your
just
fraud.
really highly rated for Mikasa. That's all.
No, I think he's just a hater. He's back to hating documents.
Don't
They are
let them
haters all
silence.
over
Don't
there.
let them silence you, Ichigo. Don't let them silence
Silky
you.
Johnson in the chat.
No, that is mad. Yeah, that's yeah. There you go, Sanko. I don't think a lot. Because I think they're going to be so focused on getting this rebuild. I think basically all the academy players are cooked for next year. I'll be very surprised if
Yeah.
you've seen any of them. To be honest with you. Oliver says, ask Danny if he knows anything about Cavan Sullivan.
Yeah, I try and catch him weekly when I can. Very, very good player. Plays in like a, it's sort of weird. It's like a reserve league, but it's like half of them are young players, half of them are like 23, 24-year-olds. I went to a game of this league because one of the teams plays home games at my university. There was a 28-year-old playing, but he's actually playing against adults. He looks pretty good doing it.
Wait, what
Again,
league is it?
MLS Next Pro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he's had a couple cameos with the first team of Philadelphia. He doesn't look physically ready for senior football yet, but very good.
Yeah, it's a couple of years in it at
Like
least.
15
before.
though.
He's 15.
I was gonna say I think he's like 14,
Yeah, he's got to
15.
fill out.
It's a
I
couple
feel
of years.
wrong talking at length about 15-year-olds. I think he needs some time. But
Yeah, give it a couple of years, Oliver, and then we'll see what happens, bro.
Because when he turns
shout-
16, he can go anywhere, but he can't come to England until he's 18.
yeah,
right?
he can't come till he's 18.
Yeah, I think City have done the deal so that when he's 18, he joins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could he come
Yeah.
earlier if he had a passport, or does that not?
Nah, I don't think so. I think he can
matter.
only
Okay.
join when he's 18.
it's,
I don't know what
it's-
the rules are, but
Because
yeah.
Pulisic went to Germany at like 15 or 16, but he has a Croatian passport, so he.
I
Got
think
around.
they've revised the law since then.
Yeah.
There's like,
Oh, maybe
there's
that's it.
something like, I think it's like an English. It might even be an English thing.
I think it's an English thing. Yeah.
Because we signed this Maltese player back in like 2016 or 2017 called like Miles Bierman, and we had this like whole court case about it, and like the whole outcome was like, okay, they're clamping down on signing international players at a young age.
Yeah, and I actually agree with that. To be honest with you, man, I think it's like pretty mad how like some of these players are being fucking signed at like 12 and shit. I think it's well weird. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it. Shout out to Teresa said Bellingham is John Joe Shelby with a skin fade and PR. But yeah, facts, yeah, 100% John Joe Shelby.
That guy's a fraud. Tucking that shirt in ain't fooling anybody.
I bet John Joe Shelby wishes he could have a skin fade. Poor guy. Guy's been bald for a whole decade now.
Oh,
Sad.
that one there was a violation. Personally, I wouldn't have it.
Funny guy. All right, then. Anything else from you guys? Yo, Peter Patrick as well. Is Jude better than Phillips? Yeah, he's better than Phillips, bro. Get out of here, man. Stop being fraudulent, isn't it? Anything else from you guys? Any other transfer talk that you want to speak about?
Nothing comes to mind for me.
Sign Chevalier. That's all I'm going to say. Sign
Oh, yeah,
Chevalier.
You gotta get him, man.
I'm
Yeah.
dying on this hill.
Oh, the fullback. Who do you guys want for fullback?
Well, it's going to be
I see.
Cambiasso as one of them, innit? Like,
Probably.
unless City have just like gone full circle in the space of a couple of months. So it's probably going to be Cambiasso as the left back. And then the right back, I don't know what you get. Part of me is just like, get Frimpong and just full send it. But I'd also like a right back that's
Jedi
like
Robinson.
proper solid. I don't know. I like that.
I don't know.
Aina
This
from
club's allergic to
Forest.
signing a left back. So
Yeah, I know. It's
It
going
is.
to be
I mean,
Cambiasso.
Pep said I've
Reverse the
taken
curse.
Fabian Delph. I've taken
Zinchenko.
Zinchenko. It doesn't really matter to Pep. Just if it's a midfielder who can keep the ball, put him over there and he's okay. So he's probably not pressed about getting a left back. But for me, I want bombing, fullbacks bombing up and down the wing. I would love to see that.
yeah,
So,
Cameron's
yeah.
so fast. I don't know. I don't watch Juventus.
I
Well,
don't,
no,
I
Yeah, for McKinney, but
don't
I
think
don't.
it's his main strength.
No, when I watched him, he didn't look like fast.
He's
But
not-
he didn't stand out being slow. I'd just say he's normal speed.
No.
Okay. Because we're
But
kind of
yeah.
slow at the back, and I vote for people with pace.
Yeah, I don't know what right
Yeah.
back could go for. That's a tough one for me.
Well,
I
can't,
do like
Cameron can
Aina.
play as a right back, can he?
Yeah, but then you just sign a left back.
Robinson.
Oh yeah,
and
Robinson.
then I'll stream. Jedi.
Why do you call him
God,
Jedi?
I can actually. We had an American worth buying a shirt number for. I would lose my mind.
Why is he called
I don't know
Jedi?
why it's called Jedi.
What?
That's his nickname.
I don't know
He's
why.
an Annie Jedi
Yeah.
Robinson. They just.
I
don't
think
know,
I've read
I've been
this
saying it for
at
years
one
on the American
point.
broadcast. He does
Yeah.
backflips also.
I think when he was a kid, but I don't
He's into
remember the
Star Wars.
story.
Yeah, he must be a nerd or something.
I don't remember the story. But I
Like
did read
Star
it.
Wars.
Like
Also.
nerds unite.
Would you guys want a wing back or like a traditional back?
Uh,
I tell you, yeah, I want someone who can cross a ball, mate. I'd love to see that again, like Kolarov style.
Yeah, bring me back Kolarov, man. Oh,
Oh yeah.
I used to love that guy.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know what I want, to be honest. I can't remember what fullbacks do, to be honest here. So
I mean,
don't just get me a fullback.
I would say more of like a wingback because he's going to want to invert him. He's going to want him up the pitch, and I think that's why we're not seeing Husanov as our right back because of that. So I'm thinking about a player that can play up the pitch more than.
So you like Frimpong then?
No, he's a good player. I think he's one of the options out there. I think you got him. You got the right back at Sporting. You got Atalanta's right back. I know a lot of people rate him.
Isn't Kirkaz going to Liverpool?
Yeah.
I thought that was like a done deal.
So.
Yeah, did you see his Instagram post yesterday? This guy's full of himself. He loves himself, doesn't he? He proper backs himself. He posted a picture of himself on Instagram and put, "I am incomparable." It's like, bro, okay, Karl, man, you're a good player in that. Yeah.
He doesn't know what that word means.
Yeah, like, come on, Bray. What's going on here? But he's a good player, to be honest. I would take him at City. That was a bit mad.
Agent Sabazlai is probably twerking for him in Liverpool.
You know what I'd do if it was me? I'd sign Cambiasso, Frimpong, and Aina from Forest.
What about Teo Hernandez?
Oh, I like Teo, yeah.
Well, in the day, like 3 or 4 years ago,
It would have been guaranteed.
Yes.
But like, to be honest with you, I've not really watched much of AC Milan over the last year or two. I watched them last year in the Champions League, thought they were average, and apparently he's been shit this year. But it might just be having a bad year, innit? But
I mean, Cambiasso is like the younger version, If you think about it, he's like the younger.
I think
I feel like he's been around forever.
I still think he's.
But isn't he
young.
only
I think
26 or something?
I think he's like Pulisic, like he's been around for time.
No, he's about to be 29. He's about to be 29.
Nah, surely not.
Yeah. Hernandez is about to be 29. Yeah.
No. I think he's Pulisic.
You mean his older brother, Lucas Hernandez? I don't think. I thought Teo was the younger one.
No. I think Teo's Pulisic's age.
Is he?
Ain't no way he's
He's been
29, bro.
around.
Because he was around in 2016, 2017 season. He was at Alaves back then. So
Yeah, 27. Chat saying it's
yeah,
27.
27
27,
exactly.
okay.
There you go. Yeah.
Plus, isn't that good? Don't we want a few players kind of in that age range? Because I feel like
Yeah,
we have
100%,
Team
man.
Uncle,
LB already told you
Grandpa,
27 is
and
too
the
old.
teenagers.
Bro, I'm
27
getting
is fine.
stressed out, with our fan base.
27
Who,
is too
whenever someone says sign this player who's 28 or 27, they're like, no, too old. What are you talking about, mate? Yeah, you've all been infected by the FIFA career mode. Yeah, weirdos, man. 28 is not an old player. Yeah, go back in the day, 28, 29, 30 was the prime. You're buzzing when you sign players at that age. Now everyone wants these 19-year-olds, man. Yeah, stop
Ooh,
it,
Patrick
man.
has a shout. Sign
Sign
Malagusto from
I'm
Chelsea.
Fernandinho at 28, so stop shitting on my 28-year-olds, man.
Bro, it's crazy, man. I can't believe
Well,
it.
Dennis
Someone said
27,
Reinders
and I'm
was
full
too
send
old
on
the other
that.
day. Put Reinders on Twitter and someone said don't sign him, he's too old. I was like, what? He's
What?
27. What's wrong with you guys, mate?
I think that's a good age. We need some players in that age range because it's like Diaz and Rodri, and that's like it. I guess Nunes, but I don't expect Nunes to be here next season. So.
They're the anti-unks of the fan base, innit? You know what I mean? They're so like, fucking can't have these old players that they're just like, nah, get out. Can't have anyone over the age of 27, man. Yeah, ridiculous. Guys borrowed 20-year-olds. It's crazy. It's what you end up like
because
Chelsea.
those 27-years won't have the same mileage on like ours. Because like Bernardo's been running to the ground for 10 straight years.
That is a very good point.
So like
Well,
look at
yeah.
Marmoush. Marmoush is 26 and he's played like I think it's 13,000 career minutes or something, or 11,000. Like that guy's gonna be going for years.
Yeah.
Like he's played like half the amount of minutes that Foden has, or something.
I mean,
crazy like that.
Marmoush's only been like a nailed-on starter for a couple seasons.
Yeah. So like Kelly says, he's going to be fine probably.
He has no miles on his legs whatsoever.
Whereas Bernardo Silva, the poor
play
guy,
him.
we've ran Bernardo
Every
Silva
game.
into the ground ever since he's been at the football club. That's why he's sort of like struggling, because he's done the mileage of a player that's 34. You know what I mean? Rough terrain as well. That's the issue.
Yeah, Bernardo and Gundo. That's why they look a lot older than they are. Well, that's like Bernardo in particular looks a lot older than he does. Because doesn't he always run like the most like kilometers? Isn't he always like around like 10 to 15 kilometers? Like,
There's a stat that come out. I think he's ran the most in the Premier League this year, or second the highest or something.
Yeah, you just can't keep doing that forever.
But he also doesn't have any top end speed. He's been like the slowest
The slowest
Yeah,
one.
registered
Craig Foster.
top end.
He was documented as like the slowest top speed. It's like
Yeah.
so it's like
No,
it's like when you're in a car and you just put it in drive and you don't press any pedal and it just goes like.
No, you're just in second gear the whole time.
Yeah.
Remember that quote came out right after he was talking on an interview talking about 30 years old isn't old. I don't know why people call me old. Then
He's been reading my tweets. He's firing some shots at me.
Yeah, but the thing is with Bernardo, he's not too old. The problem is what Kelly said before. He's done too many miles.
Yeah.
He's done too many miles, and that's our fault as a football club because we've not managed him properly. And by the way, we're not careful.
Which is a FIFA problem.
Foden
FIFA
will go the
just
same way.
Making up tournaments so nobody gets a summer off.
Yeah, but look at the size of our squad. Our squad's not big enough. If we have a big enough squad, we'll be fine. But our squad's not big enough, and that's why we end up spamming this guy for the last 7 years.
We've had players. Pep just won't play any of them.
Well, this is why Pep's got to change as well. But Pep has already said he's going to change, and he said it in a press conference. He said, "I've got to increase the size of my squad because he obviously likes small squads, and I get it. Having small squads, no one's complaining about minutes. Great, yeah, but like, bro, you can't do that anymore. You need to add a couple. I'm not saying add 5, 6, 7 players. I'm just saying add like 3 or 4,
or just utilize those academy players to give rest to our, again, we won't beat the dead horse, but we could have seen Nico O'Reilly all season. We didn't have to wait till, these last few months, whatever. But
even certain games, like play him against like relegation teams at home, like or newly promoted teams at the Etihad. That way, if he, he'll have the crowd behind him. And if he does mess up, then pull him off. I don't understand why we never gave them the chance. Like, if they're bad, you can always sub them off and not play them again. But you just don't know what you have when they're just on the bench the whole time.
Yeah, and I have to praise LB for this. That first loss against Spurs in the Cup, he said immediately, get O'Reilly in for Bournemouth. We didn't get O'Reilly
good in that game.
And we
was Jacob Wright, and we never saw him.
Well, yeah.
You got to play the kids, man.
No.
The thing is, people need to realize, we have like the best academy in the world, or one of the best academies in the world. Like, these players in the academy are good players. Look at how many players are ex-City players around the world. Real Madrid have one. Yeah, we've got academy players everywhere. Why? Because our academy's mint. Trust them a bit more, innit? Or if you're not going to trust them, you got to get a bigger squad. So let's see what happens anyway. Well, listen, I think we'll wrap it up there. Bit to Roshan says Vert should choose us. He will have Rodri behind him, and who doesn't want Rodri? Bro, this is what I'm saying. Also, pause on that message.
Big pause, yeah.
Big pause on the message.
Rodri and Holland. That's like everyone's wet dream.
Yeah, all right. And well, on that note, we'll end this.
I'm sorry for demonetizing the stream.
I said it this morning by accident, and then I was like, shit, pause. Yeah, man. Shout Roshan, innit? Big up to you guys, man. Make sure you guys are smashing up the likes. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel as well if you're new. I'll be back at midday tomorrow with Dan Potts, who will obviously be buzzing about the Arsenal game today. Dan Chelsea's on, Wolf is on as well, and he's got some questions to answer, mate, because they've lost the last 2 games. If they end up falling out the top 4, then he's getting cooked. And I think Roms is on as well from a Liverpool point of view. But yeah, so join me for that midday UK time. And then, also, I think River Plate are playing on Friday. I think they're playing at 9.
I should know this.
I think River Plate are playing at 9. So
that's right. That's right.
We're scouting on them now because there's no Echeverry anymore.
Subiabre
and Mastantuono.
Oh, I was like, did you just adopt them as your team?
Basically, once I rattled the fan base, I was like, I rattled the fan base.
I was just in Buenos Aires and I walked around the Boca Juniors stadium, but the River Plate one was in a weird area, so I didn't want to go up there.
If you just, I've got a real good idea for you, Kelly. If you go on Twitter and type in City signed Subiabre for Grealish, all the River Plate fans will love you because they're really big fans of Grealish, and you get load of followers and that.
I don't do this for followers.
Sounds like a setup.
See, if you tweet that, they're gonna tie you up and push you off the top of the Monumental.
Yeah, they hated me for that, man. Honestly, that was too funny, man. But yeah,
picture of the La Boca or the Boca Stadium. Come at me, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna watch River Plate on Friday because they kick off at 9, so it's actually a decent time for once. see. Hopefully Subi breaks up. He's been on the bench recently. But yeah, anyway, we'll leave it there. Big up to you guys for jumping on. Make sure you guys smash the likes. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you're new. And I'll see you tomorrow midday. See you later.